Hey everyone, welcome back to JL Wydeen, the channel giving you the latest news and information on sixth form. Today we're going to be talking about registering for UCAS, so it's going to be an important one. Stay tuned for more information. Point 1. Okay, first point, is it a good idea? That very much depends on you guys. I mean, first of all, getting more educated is always a good idea. It is never going to hurt you. It's never going to harm you. It can only help you. But even moving that aside, is it a good idea? Well, it totally depends on your attitude towards it. If you go into it with a positive mindset and thinking that I'm going to get a lot out of this, then you will get a lot out of it. If, however, you apply and you're quite negative about it and you still think, oh, I'll apply, but I don't really know whether this is a good idea, it probably won't be a good idea. It'll probably be a bad idea because you're going into it rather half-hearted. So bottom line, if you're positive, you're a lot more likely to get a hell of a lot out of it. And secondly, the money. People always ask about the money. Yes, you will get into debt through going to university. That is just a fact. We cannot get around it. However, there is one good element to it. Well, I say good element. There's one not so bad element. You don't start paying the debt off until you earn about £20,000 a year. Decent sum of money when you come out of university. Furthermore, when you do start paying off your debt, and say you're earning around 20-25 grand, the amount that you pay per month is actually really small. If you never earn that amount of money, if you never earn £20,000 a year, then you simply just won't pay it off, and that debt gets written off after about 30 years, I think it is. You might have to check the facts on that one. But yeah, money, debt, it is an issue. It can be a bit of a barrier, but don't let it be. If you want to go, and think of it as an investment in yourself. And then lastly, this is a point that is purely one of my sort of babies at the moment in terms of, I think that the job market is going to be really, really difficult for you guys. We're coping with a pandemic. It'll be Brexit comes January. That'll cause disruption for sure. It'll cause uncertainty in the jobs market. Companies therefore might stop investing. And young people always get hit hardest. It happened exactly that way with the recession back in 2008. Young people suffer disproportionately more. So with that in mind, it might not be a bad time to elongate the amount of time that you're spending in full-time education just to avoid that really difficult jobs market. Point number 2. Should I defer? Should you defer? Yeah, quite possibly. Deferring your entry means that you go a year later. Nothing wrong with that at all. I actually did that myself. Loads of people do it. It rather depends on whether you think you'll get back into the groove of studying. If you think that, if you take a year out, you'll never get back into it again, it's probably a good idea to go straight away. If you are going to defer, and again, nothing wrong with that at all, I would definitely apply this academic year. Well, I say this academic year. Let's talk about 2020, 2021. Apply then. You can leave it an extra year, but of course you'd have left school by then and you won't have the access to the support at your fingertips. It's far easier if you just apply now, click defer, and then you will get all your teachers' help and support. It'll go off everything, and that place will be waiting for you in 2022 when you take it up. Point number 3. But I don't know which course to do, sir. Can't possibly do it. I don't know what I want to study. Yeah, that is an absolutely valid point. If you don't know what you want to study, completing the UCAS application is going to be difficult. Well, it will actually be impossible. If you don't know what course you want to study, you simply can't do it. But you can do most of it. You can fill out the personal details section. You can fill out the section where you've got to put about your education, like logging all your GCSEs. You can put about your paid work. You cannot, of course, enter the subjects that you want to do. Obviously, if you don't know what course it is, you can't enter the course information, and also you can't really do the personal statement. You can start it, you can start the extracurricular bit, but you definitely can't complete it without knowing what course it is that you want to study. So yeah, fair point on that one. But there's nothing stopping you to completing the bits that you can do. So no excuses, still register anyway. Point number 4. I've lost my GCSE grade certificate. Oh, I can't remember what exam boards I was with. Yes, a problem at first, but not a disastrous problem. We keep all that information in school. It's all logged on something called Sims, which is right on the computer over there. If you do not know what your GCSEs are, who the hell forgets that? But some people do. If you can't remember what your GCSEs are, or more likely, if you can't remember what exam board you studied with, just drop us a line. We can get that information to you. So no excuses for not doing that one. Point 5. Lastly, the process of actually registering. That has been emailed to you and put on Show My Homework. You will need a buzzword, which is YDEAN 2021, and there's a number of steps that you need to go through in order to register. This can catch a few people out, actually, in terms of how to do it, so I'm going to make a handy little video for that right now. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, unless, of course, you've actually already done this. If you've registered, you can go somewhere. You can go do something better. If you haven't registered, I would stay tuned, because I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Click on sign in. You're of course a student, so you go to the student part. You are going to be an undergraduate. Postgraduate is when you've done your degree and then you do a postgraduate qualification. Conservatoires, only a minority of people apply to those. Those are for people who do specialist music courses a lot of the time. So if we click on undergrad, you are, of course, 2021 entry. That's where most of you will be going. Now, you don't have a username and password yet because you never registered. So you simply click on register, read the relevant information, and tick and go next. Now, here is where you then start inputting some of your personal information. So I'm going to do an assumed one. So I'll call myself Joe Blogs, and I was born the 7th of January 2003. I think that's your year group. A UK national. Of course, some of you might not be, so you fill that out appropriately. This is where you put your address. Now, I'm not going to put my actual address when you lot rocking up and annoying me. So I'm going to put a place where I used to live. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Right. Oh, telephone number. I guess I better blur all this out if I know how. Not going to bother putting my mobile in. I put my school email. You've all got that anyway. Okay. Password. This is where come up with something that you're either going to remember or that you're going to note down somewhere. I know you're not supposed to note it down, but you know, it's up to you. It's up to you what you do. So if I'm just going to do, I shouldn't be telling you, should I? Okay. Right, and then it gives you a series of security questions. Name your first school. This is all genuine stuff here. I went to Roggett Primary. Pets name, don't have any pets. Favourite sport, believe it or not, I would say football. Security, how many of these you got to do? First car, can't remember. Favourite holiday. Mother's maiden name, that's something that didn't change. I was cook. And then finally, father's first name, Peter. Aha, I haven't done a capital letter. I remember what the problem is here. So let that be a lesson to you guys. Right, now, go to UCAS homepage or log in. Right, what you click on, this is where some people go wrong, is that you go to log in. Please make a note of the username that you've been assigned. Take a photograph of that because it will ask you for that when you next try to log in. So if we go log in now. Now here is absolutely essential that you click on the right thing, otherwise it's a massive pain in the bum for you and for me. How are you applying? Right guys, you are applying through your school or college. Some people click on individual. It's not the end of the world, it's just that we can't then see any of your application to help you. So click on school and college, that's the one you want. Right, this is where you need to input your buzzword. Now that is YDEAN 2021. Am I applying through YDEAN? Yes, I am. Tutor group. Hopefully you remember what tutor group you're in. And there we are, all done. You are registered. How long did that take? A couple of minutes max. While we're here, let's have a look at the sections that you've got to fill out. So we've got personal details, choices, education, employment statement, view all details. Now, if you know what you're doing, if you know, well, when I say if you know what you're doing, if you know the course,
that you want to study and the universities you ought to study at. You can get all of this done, other than the personal statement, in about an hour. So personal details, honest to God, guys, easy. I mean, you know who you are, you know what your phone number is, you know what your address is, so easy. Choices, okay. This is the one that you really can't do unless you've done a bit of research on sort of the universities that you're interested in. You've got a max of 5 that you can apply to. And then with that, then 5 courses, so 1 course at each university. Now, let me explain just a little bit more on that one, okay? You can choose 2 courses at the same university. That is absolutely fine. What is more of a problem is choosing different courses. You really shouldn't do that. You just won't get accepted because they won't think that you're being serious. So you've either got to choose the same course. So let's take history at 5 different universities, or it has to be something that's closely related to history. So you could do history, and then another universities, it could be history and international relations. It's got to be something really closely related. You can't say, for instance, apply for history at one place and then maths in another, because they just think that you're not serious, that you don't know what you want to do, basically. So that's the choices section. Education is where you put the schools in that you've studied at. So for most of you, that will be Wydene School, the place you did your GCSEs. Some of you may have done your GCSEs somewhere else. That's absolutely fine. Input that school, input your grades, and then put Wydene as your current school and put in the subjects that you're studying to A-level or BTEC. If you can't remember your grades or exam boards, then let us know, because we do have that information here, even if you sat your GCSEs elsewhere. Employment, easy. If you're employed, you just put the details. If you're not employed, then you just simply say that you don't have an employer and click section complete, and that's that bit done. Personal statement, I wouldn't recommend that you write that in here. I would do it in Word first, copy and paste it in there once you've finished it on Word. You'll notice on each section, there is a handy little video right at the start telling you what you have to do. So click on those if you're not sure. Right, and that really is it. Honestly, some people make a massive meal of this, but as I say, other than the statement, you could do it easily in an hour if you've got the information at your fingertips. The thing that tends to hold people up is knowing the exam boards that they did their GCSEs with. So that's it for your quick tutorial on how to register. Back to the studio.
And so that's it, all done. Don't forget to register, everyone. I hope all goes well. If it doesn't, feel free to drop me a line either on email or in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done already, and I will see you next time.